Assalamu alaikum, dear student. In the continuation of previous lectures, in the chapter of novel gastrointestinal drug delivery system, today we are going to discuss about a floating drug delivery system. In physical lectures, we have studied up to the mucoadhesive drug delivery system in the previous lecture. Now, in continuation of that, students, today in the course of pharmaceutical technology, we are going to discuss about the floating drug delivery system. It is also a type of, you can say, gastroretentive drug delivery system in which we emphasize to increase the residence time of the drug and to achieve the prolonged release of the drug in the stomach. So let's start with the definition of the floating drug delivery system. Student, it is a class of gastroretentive drug delivery system. By gastroretentive drug delivery system, we mean that the formulation is to be designed such that after taking in by the patient, the medicine will remain for longer period of time in the stomach. So the name is self-explanatory that the formulation will retain in your stomach. There are different techniques to achieve gastroretentive drug delivery system. In those techniques, we are going to discuss floating drug delivery system, which means that the drug will remain buoyant or will float on the surface of the gastric content in your stomach. Students, by virtue of their low densities, that is less than 1 gram per centimeter cube, floating systems or hydrodynamically controlled system, these are also called hydrodynamically controlled systems, remain buoyant and provide continuous release of drug. So simply we can say that those formulation whose densities will be lower than the density of the gastric content or the gastric fluid, they will remain buoyant and will float on the surface of the gastric fluids. While the system is floating on the gastric contents, the drug is released slowly at the desired rate from the system. After release of the drug, the residual system is emptied from the stomach. Means you will have to formulate your drug component in such a system that will remain float or will remain buoyant on the content of the gastrointestinal tract, means in the stomach. And after releasing the drug, the reservoir which you have taken for the delivery of the drug to the gastric system, that reservoir will be emptied from the stomach after the release of the drug. This results in an increased gastric retention time and a better control of fluctuation in plasma drug concentration. These systems are, students, actually designed for the prolonged and sustained release of the drugs, or you can say that controlled release of the drug. And the mechanism which is emphasized in this lecture is floating mechanism, that how will we achieve the floating mechanism to retain the drug in the gastrointestinal tract. So let's proceed further. This low density can be achieved by either entrapment of air as a hollow chamber or by the incorporation of low density materials as oils or fatty substances, or you can also use foam powders. So the flotation mechanism is achieved either by incorporating materials which have low density, so that when they comes in contact with the gastric fluid, they will achieve the flotation or they will remain buoyant on the system, or there, or you can provide compartment, means small pores or holes in your formulation, so that air can fill in those pores and they remain buoyant on the surface of the gastric content. Students, classification of floating drug delivery system. Floating drug delivery system are classified into different types. The first one is raft forming system. Raft forming system, the one of the best example of this system is a Gaviscon syrup, which is prepared by Reckitt Benckiser. This syrup is actually used for hyperacidity or upper gastric problems. So what is the mechanism of raft system? Raft system is actually, student, the formation of continuous cohesive gel layer. What is raft? Raft is actually a layer of gel containing entrapped carbon dioxide bubbles upon contact with the gastric fluids, these systems, the layer is formed which is called raft. So what is raft system? Raft system means that the formulation, after taking in the formulation, Gaviscon is present in liquid dosage form. So when you take the dosage form in your body, it will form a cohesive gel layer because of the formulation ingredient, and that gel layer, when comes in contact with the gastric fluid, this layer is then called raft. One of the most notable examples of raft forming system include Gaviscon. This is a widely marketed product for the treatment of hyperacidity and based on the use of potassium bicarbonate and sodium alginate. So these are the ingredients which are used for the achievement of raft system. The raft floats on the surface of gastric content because of its low density compared to the gastric fluid due to the generation of carbon dioxide entrapped in the raft. Various natural and synthetic polymers are used in the formulation of raft forming drug delivery system. So raft also floats on the surface of the gastric content. So therefore, this is also a mechanism for flotation of the drug. A natural polymers such as alginic acid, guar gum, galen gum, chitosan, and synthetic polymers such as polydiol lactic acid, polydiol lactide, co-glycolide, polycaprolactone, and hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose are used for formulation development of raft forming drug delivery system. Due to the advantage of this dosage form and its ability to float over the GIT fluid, these systems have received much attention in the delivery of antacids and delivery of drugs used in the treatment of gastroesophageal reflux diseases, GERD. Liquid Gaviscon is an example of dosage form designed on the basis of raft formation and used in the treatment of intestinal reflux diseases, or you can say gastroesophageal reflux diseases. So first example was of the raft system. Raft system is simply a formation of viscous or cohesive gel layer, and in this gel layer then carbon dioxide gas is entrapped, which makes the layer to the dosage form to float on the surface of the gastric content. So this is the first approach for the achieving of flotation, and this is called raft forming system. Students, the next classification is non-effervescent floating system. The first one was raft forming system. The second one is non-effervescent floating system. The floating of non-effervescent systems relies on two possible mechanisms. The first one depends on the incorporation of high swelling and gelling capacity polymers such as cellulose type hydrocolloid, polysaccharides, and matrix forming polymers like hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose, polycarbonate, polyacrylate, sodium alginate, polymethacrylate. These are the different types of polymers that are used to achieve flotation in non-effervescent floating system. After oral administration of these dosage forms, the non-effervescent dosage forms swell upon contact with the gastric fluid, forming a gel layer with entrapped air around the system core. The entrapped air within the swelling matrix imparts buoyancy of the dosage form. So means the flotation mechanism is achieved by swelling. When the polymer gets swells, it entrapped air, and that air then facilitated the process of buoyancy on the surface of the gastric contents. So non-floating system for non-effervescent floating system, these are the different types of polymers that are used, and their mechanism of action is swelling and gelling, and after swelling and gelling, air is entrapped in their three-dimensional structures, and then that air facilitates the process of buoyancy on the surface of the gastric contents. The second mechanism may be related to floating of such system, depend on incorporating a gas-filled chamber or of specific gravity into a microporous component that allows the system to float. Means there is a microporous component. By microporous component, we means that we have a substance which have small pores, so that air or any type of gas can be filled in those pores, and then those pores will facilitate the mechanism of flotation. So there are two different approaches for the non-effervescent floating system. The first one is the incorporation of swelling and gelling polymers that will facilitate the swallowing by absorption of water. They will swell, and and after swelling, the polymer will entrap air, and then that entrapped air will facilitate the process of floating. The second mechanism is related to a microporous component in the formulation, and that microporous component will facilitate the trapping of air, or you can fill gas, so that the flotation is achieved. Next approach is students colloidal gel barrier system. This type of systems, this is a type of non-effervescent floating system. These types of system contain drug with gel forming hydrocolloid, which allow them to remain buoyant on the stomach content. This prolongs the gastro-retentive time and maximize the amount of drug at its absorption sites in the solution form for ready absorption. As you know that drug absorption is faster from solution than in solid dosage form. So colloidal gel barrier system means that there will be a, a gel forming hydrocolloid. Students, you have previously studied the properties of colloids. Colloids behave very differently because these are microparticles, and they have different properties, and their properties changes with the as we change the size of the colloids. So colloidal gel barrier system is a type of system in which drug is incorporated with a gel forming hydrocolloid, which allow the dosage form to remain float on the stomach. Due to the floating on the stomach, the gastric residence time will ultimately increase, and it will facilitate in turns the absorption of the drug from the system. So hydrocolloid polymers like gel forming polymers are soluble cellulose type hydrocolloid as hydroxypropyl cellulose, hydroxymethyl cellulose. This hydrocolloid hydrates and forms a colloid gel barrier around its surface after coming in contact with the gastric fluid, and also helps in sustained releasing of the drug substance. So this is a schematic diagram of the hydrocolloid gel system. As you can see that the density of the system is lower than 1, because for flotation the density of the dosage form must be less than the density of the gastric content, so that the dosage form remain buoyant on the surface of the gastric content. So these are the hydrocolloids. Here you can see that in blue color, these are the hydrocolloids, and then this is a layer which is called colloidal gel layer. After hydration, the drug is released in controlled manner through this gel layer, and this gel layer also control the release profile of the active ingredient. So in short, we can say that hydrocolloids are the systems which, when comes in contact with the gastric fluid, they remain buoyant and they release drug in a sustained manner. Student, the next system is microporous compartment system. This is also a system of non-effervescent floating system. You can find a detailed study on each and every system in primary literature. You can consult for the detailed study how these systems are manufactured and what are the recent advances in this system. So for lecture shortly, we are going to define all these systems one by one. So the next is microporous compartment system. This technology is based on the encapsulation of drug reservoir inside a microporous compartment with pores along its top and bottom walls. In the stomach, the flotation chamber containing entrapped air causes the delivery system to float over the gastric content. Gastric fluid enters through the aperture, dissolves the drug, and carries the dissolved drug for continuous transport across the intestine for absorption. So simply you can see here in diagram that it is a system which contains a drug reservoir, then porous compartment in the system, and here you can see the flotation chamber, so that after comes in contact with the gastric content, this system, the flotation chamber, will facilitate the floating of the drug over the gastric content. So this was all about the microporous system. Next is alginate beads. This is also a method of achieving flotation. Alginate bead, in this approach, a solution of sodium alginate is dropped into an aqueous solution of calcium chloride. and cause the precipitation of calcium alginate. So we are going to precipitate calcium alginate in such a way that a solution of sodium alginate is dropped into an aqueous solution of calcium chloride and cause the precipitation of calcium alginate. These beads are then separated and air dried or freeze dried. This result in a porous system which can float over the gastric content. These beads can prolong the gastric residence times for more than 5.5 hours. Combination of famotidine and quercetin for the treatment of peptic ulcer have been prepared in the form of freeze-dried calcium alginate beads with the floating properties for more than 8 hours. So you can also formulate this type of alginate beads containing different active ingredients, so that these beads are actually prepared by the precipitation method, in which one solution is dropped into another so that the precipitation of calcium alginate occurs, and then these precipitates are separated and dried into beads form, and they can prolong the gastric residence time. This is the schematic diagram. This is the sodium alginate solution. Here you can see high stirrer or mixer is there. Calcium chloride solution. Sodium alginate is poured on the calcium chloride solution and rapidly agitated, as a result of which alginate beads are formed, and these beads have the ability to float on the gastric content. Next system is, students, hollow microspheres, or you can say micro balloons. This technique used in the preparation of this system includes solvent evaporation or solvent diffusion method, which create hollow inner core. Polymers such as polycarbonate, chitosan, Udragit S, and polyvinyl acetate are commonly used in the preparation of such a system. Microspheres means small balloons, small particles, small grains are prepared. These grains contains holes, and then these holes entrapped air and then facilitate the buoyancy of the dosage form. The amount of drug released can be controlled by optimizing the polymer quantity and the polymer plasticizer ratio. Riboflavin has been prepared as hollow microsphere to prolong the gastric residence time and improve its bioavailability. So vitamins can be formulated in this type of dosage form. Microballoons. Hollow microspheres of theophylline have been prepared by using a solvent evaporation method using cellulose acetate butyrate and Udragate RL100 as polymer. The prepared formulation could remain float for more than 24 hours. So you can achieve the residency times up to 24 hours. These are microspheres or micro balloons. Here you can see, student, in the diagram, this is the process of formation. First an emulsion is formed, and then after emulsion formation of shell occur, and then inside this emulsion and shell gas is generated, and then this gas facilitate the micro balloons to float over the surface. Here you can see that oil and water emulsion is prepared, and then rapid diffusion of ethylene hydroxide occurs, as a result of which there is a gas which is called dichloromethane. The dichloromethane evaporate and as a result of which micro balloons or hollow spheres are formed, and this gas filled in the hollow spheres and facilitate the buoyancy of the dosage form. Now, student, the third category in floating drug delivery system is the effervescent floating system. So effervescence through the flotation is achieved through the process of effervescence. Here, flotations of a drug delivery system within the stomach are often achieved by incorporating a floating chamber stuffed with vacuum air or an noble gas. Gas are often introduced into the floating chamber by the volatilization of an organic solvent like ether or cyclopentane. These are volatilized, and then after volatilization, these gases enters into the these gas release from the system, which makes the system feasible for flotation. So here you can see that gases are often introduced in the floating chamber by the volatilization of an organic solvent like ether or cyclopentane, or by the carbon dioxide produced as a result of an effervescent reaction between organic acid. As we know that for effervescent to produce carbon dioxide in bubbles, we use citric acid, tartaric acid, carbonate, sodium bicarbonates. These effervescent system further classified into the following two types, like these are the effervescent systems. So one is gas generating system and the other is volatile liquid or vacuum containing system. Let's discuss the first one, gas generating system. Gas bubble generation helps to attain the floatability. As we have discussed that this is the mechanism of flotation through effervescence. So through the reaction of effervescence, gas will be produced and that gas will facilitate the floating. The soluble polymers like methyl cellulose and chitosan and numerous effervescent compounds such as, for example, sodium bicarbonate, tartaric acid, and citric acid facilitate in making matrix form of such system. For gas generation, the optimum stoichiometric ratio of citric acid and sodium bicarbonate is 0.7176 and 1. Upon contact with the stomach contents, carbonic acid gas is discharged, finally entrapping in swollen hydrocolloid that creates dosage form beyond. Means simple, we can say that the buoyancy is achieved by the generation of a gas which result as a result of the effervescence reaction. The next, this is the example here, water penetration occur. After water penetration, the dosage form swells and release carbon dioxide gas, which is effervescence, and this is the layer of the hydrocolloid or the polymer which release the drug in a controlled fashion. The next is volatile liquid containing system. In this system, volatile liquid is present along with the drug like ether, cyclopentane, that gasifies at the body temperature and makes the dosage form floatable onto the gastric contents. So these have an inflatable chamber that contains a liquid, e.g., for example, ether, cyclopentane, that gasifies, means converts into gas at blood heat or with the blood body condition to cause the inflation of the chamber within the abdomen. This system are osmotically controlled floating system having a hollow deformable unit. There are two chambers within the system. Initial contains the drug and also the second chamber contains the volatile liquid. Here is the schematic diagram. Here you can see that this is a capsule. This is a drug reservoir. Here is an inflatable chamber. This inflatable chamber inflate means increase in size in the stomach, which facilitate the buoyancy of the dosage form. So by incorporating volatile liquid, so that during the operation or during the use of the dosage form, the liquid gasifies and that gasification then facilitate the buoyancy of the dosage form. So student, these were the different types of mechanisms through which you can achieve the flotation of the drug. The basic purpose of the floating drug delivery system is to maximize the absorption and to improve the fluctuation in the plasma level. And we can also say that these are the controlled release systems so that we can decrease the dosing frequency of the patients. Students, there are different features of the gastroretentive drug delivery system. It is a vast topic. You can consult literature, primary literature for further study. We have discussed only one type of dosage form in gastroretentive system, that is floating drug delivery system. We have also discussed the mucoadhesive drug delivery system. We have discussed about the osmotically controlled drug delivery system. So if we summarize all these, you can see that these all are the gastroretentive drug delivery system. Means you will have to retain the drug in your GIT for the maximum period of time so that the absorption of the drug occurs properly from the system to increase the bioavailability and to achieve different pharmacokinetic benefits from the dosage form. These recent techniques have been used in the literature for developing new dosage forms so that we can facilitate the drug delivery and can increase the patient compliance. So for further study that what are the advantages and disadvantages of floating drug delivery system, how we can formulate a floating drug delivery system, you can consult primary literature and you will find a detailed study on each of the following types of the floating drug delivery system, like raft forming system, Then you can study about the colloidal gel barrier system, how these are formulated, what are their mechanism of actions. So in this lecture, we have just superficially discussed the different types of the dosage form or the different types of the drug delivery system through the mechanism which are delivered to the body through the mechanism of flotation. So student, hope that everything is good for you, and you will have to make notes of all these slides so that during exam preparation it will be easy for you to recall all the materials. You can study in detail each and every topic of the presentation from the primary literature. Thank you very much, student.